Good morning. It is day number 17 on USA on Dirt, and we are leaving the Motel 6 in Rexburg, Idaho. And we're fixing to head over to the Walmarts, and we are going to pick up a, what are they called, Mr. Buddies or Heater Buddies or something like that.
Thanks, Mr. Buddy.
The reason is because it is supposed to be cold for the remainder of our trip across until we get into Oregon, and then at which time we'll go down to California. California is supposed to heat up again, but Kristi and I don't do real well in the cold, which is the reason that we stayed at the Motel 6 last night. Woke up this morning and it was 36 degrees, I think I said.
I thought you said 22.
No, that was Yellowstone.
Oh.
It's 36 degrees whenever I woke up this morning, and but it was 70 inside the hotel, so nonetheless, we were straight. So we're on our way now. We're going to go to the Walmart here in Rexburg, Idaho. Then from there, we're going to go to Yellowstone National Park, where the temperature is even lower. The low today, or the low whenever I checked it this morning, was 24, and it felt like 22. So cold weather is upon us, unfortunately. We had hoped to miss out on the cold weather, but it's all right, because that means that the desert's going to be pleasant when we get there. So that's the current situation. We'll check up with you when we get back to Yellowstone. Okay, so while at Walmart picking up a Mr. Buddy or Heater Buddy thing, whatever, I decided to take a quick count of the trip money, or trip expenditures rather, and we've come to the conclusion that we've already done nearly, well, actually, according to my odometer, I think we left at 37,800, and now we're at 42,935, which puts us at the 5,000 mile mark already, and we're only in Idaho. Now, we have gone off the trail quite a bit to go to some of the national parks and some of the other areas and stuff like that, so that would make sense. But at that amount, if you divide that up by 200, which I figure is about a half a tank of gas, all right? I've been stopping every half a tank of gas. I've been stopping and spending at least $20. So you know, you can do the math on that, and that's, you know, that's where most of the money for the trip goes. The most common question that I get asked is, how much does it cost for this trip? And that really is like asking for, you know, what's the best tire, or what's the best car to drive, or something. There's so many different things that play into a factor. For, you know, one, in preparation, two, the actual trip itself, stuff like that. But the biggest thing that you have to factor in for the trip is going to be the gas. So the very first time that I took this trip, I factored in, I think it was $1,500 in gas, and I went over that budget the very first time. This time I factored in, gas did go up, I factored in $2,100 to $2,200 in gas. And hopefully I don't go over that this time, because that's just a lot of money in gas. Now, I'm getting, in my rig, I'm getting, let's see, I reset it before we left, I'm getting 15.5 miles to the gallon, and that's, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually decent. If you think about it, I'm loaded down to the gills. I've got all kinds of stuff in the back, okay? I've got a roof rack that's got stuff on it, including about 4 gallons of water that's tied to it. The roof rack itself is not aerodynamic at all. So that, and then I've got all this mud and muck and stuff that's still stuck to the 4Runner. So realistically, 15.5 miles to the gallon, going up and down through the mountains, off-roading, using the 4-wheel drive, stuff like that, it's not really, that's not really too bad. So make sure that you factor in your gas, and then once you factor in your gas, add more money to it, because it probably won't never be enough. So hopefully that helped clear some questions up, but that is probably the #1 question that I get asked all the time, right next to if you could do it in a 2-wheel drive truck. And the answer to that question is no. You cannot do it in a 2-wheel drive truck. Well, I'm not going to say you can't. I'm going to say that I wouldn't even dare attempt it in a two-wheel drive truck. Whether or not you want to or not is on your own. So, other than that, we're headed to Yellowstone National Park. We got our heater buddy from Walmart, and we got some good breakfast from a local place called JB's. Little place called JB's there in Rexburg, Idaho. Don't you know? And we hadn't had any potatoes since we've been in Idaho. We'd really like to have some. I might have an Idaho spud. They had them on sale at Walmart for $30. Got to be more careful. Anyway, that's current situation. We'll see you at Yellowstone. Peace. Alright, so this is Yellowstone National Park. We just entered, and we got our maps and all, and it looks to be a pretty big park. We did watch a video last night. Well, Kristi watched a video last night, told us, and I forgot. It told us that we needed to pack our patience. I looked at Walmart. I did not see any patience, so I'm not real sure where you get that at. But I still haven't gotten any. So anyway, we're on our way to I guess Old Faithful. This is kind of what you got to go see here. I don't know. What's the first thing? Kristi said that they had showers here at Yellowstone National Park, but I came prepared. I don't need a shower. Right, Kristi?
No, you've had enough.
I took 3 showers at the hotel because I wanted to embrace the shower life, you know? So that's what we did. Kristi and I were just discussing, it's 52 degrees right here, which is, you know, that's decent. We can stand that. I told her that's kind of like hoodie weather. Hoodie weather's good weather to us. Of course, 52 to some might be short sleeves, but we like 50s. So we're gonna go see the what is it?
Lower Geyser Basin.
Lower Geyser Basin.
And then Old Faithful.
Old Faithful. So the mud pits are there, and did you find the spring?
Yeah, 𝗵𝒻𝒄 Spring is also
on the way.
No, you got to break off and either do Lower Geyser Basin and then Old Faithful, turn around and go all the way back up.
Gotcha.
So either way, you got to go back and forth.
What about the prismatic spring?
I haven't found that.
Huh. Anyway, this park's beautiful. Water and stuff everywhere. Pretty. Check this fella out, huh? Just chilling. That's really cool. Yeah, man. You gotta understand why in the hell
People are like following him.
Yeah, he's got no clue. He's just like, what the hell's going on here? It only tells you like every, I think, mile or so through this entire thing to not stop on the roadway for any reason. But yet people still stop on the roadway. I mean, I get it. Wildlife's cool, but like pull off. You know what I mean? Apparently, they don't condone you walking on that. They say that that's a thin crust in scalding water. See a boat. Ready to go swimming?
No, I think I'm good.
Check out the mud. How red the rock is right there. And this stuff's just been going off for ever, I guess. It's crazy that, like, literally right there is clear water. Right over there's nothing but mud. Okay, so this thing goes on to explain that the red spouter, which is that one, if you travel back in time, 1959, you would find yourself on a grassy knoll, and the red spouter didn't exist. This damn thing's been spouting since 1959.
The animals get up on it.
And it's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
On the way in, the radio was talking about some kind of epidemic diarrhea. Imagine it.
Nationwide.
That's why you don't want to dang touch none of this. It's pretty cool though. Stinky. That's pretty cool. Wow. Pretty cool stuff, man. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the coolest. What would you give that so far?
I'd give that a 10.
So far, I'd definitely give it a 10. Yeah. It's just, you could sit there and probably explore for hours on the reasoning and why that stuff just goes off. And then the other thing is it's just constant. Like, we just happened to see, this guy just backed out and then backed right and pulled right back in. They missed something. They went to go back. Look at, oh, there's bathrooms.
By one that's plus or minus a couple of hours. So if you want to see it go off, you just make yourself comfortable and sit. So that's why everybody has to see other than the fact that it's really famous, but it's also plus or minus 10 minutes and everybody's come in quick, take their picture and move on. It's like, check that off the list.
Is it the tallest?
No, it's not. Grand and Great Fountain that's around the corner here. They a lot of times might be bigger. I never tire of watching Old Faithful. It's beautiful when it goes off.
I'd have to say this is probably one of the most interesting places I've ever visited.
Yeah, and there's almost like it's just too much to try to do in one day.
Oh, it's definitely too much to do in one day. But it's just, what's so interesting about it to me is just like, I mean, this landscape doesn't look any different than landscape in, say, you know, Colorado or Oregon or any other part of this area. So why is it that this area, for whatever reason, is just home to all these crazy formations of mud and hot and, I mean, geysers and, you know what I mean? Like, what makes this do that versus anywhere else, I guess, is my main question. It's so crazy. Odd. But cool, nonetheless.
They're literally walking to person for food.
Alright, so that is the Old Faithful. That down there is another geyser. Imagine that, but bigger right there, and you would have Old Faithful going off. But I don't know if we're going to get to see Old Faithful going off. Alright, so we are leaving Old Faithful. Not totally disappointed, because we did get to see a geyser, which was cool. But we're not going to get to see Old Faithful. It's like the last time that it erupted was around 2 o'clock, which was about 15-20 minutes before we got there. And it's set to erupt every about 90 minutes or so. They predict the next time would be 3:22. And I predicted that we'd be out of the park by 3 o'clock. So that being said, we are headed on down the road, not getting to see Old Faithful, but we did get to see a geyser, and we got to see a lot of other cool stuff. So not a wasted trip by any means. But that's the current situation. And I also had forgot to pack my patience because I didn't. I couldn't find none. I couldn't find none at Walmart. And the people. Yeah, the people. Anyway, that's the current situation. All right. Well, that was Yellowstone, and now we are on our way to what's it called, Pipeline Campground. Pipeline Campground, which is back on the Transamerica Trail. Right next to Craters of the Moon National Monument, which we will get up early and go see in the morning. And it looks like we're going to be getting at camp sometime around sometime around 6:30. So that won't be too bad. Give us time to get a good night of getting back in the routine of camping. Low tonight's supposed to be 45, so that'll be good, but we're prepared now. We got our Mr. Heater Buddy, and we got good sleeping bags and warm socks, so we're good to go. Should be good to go. We will be good to go.
It's going to be Oregon. It's going to be cold.
Oregon's going to be a little cold, but we'll still be good to go. One thing I see a lot of out here is a different kind of boat than what I'm used to. I've seen a good bit of different kind of boats out near Yellowstone. I don't know if there's a reason for the boats to be shaped the way they are. You got some that are kind of fat in the middle and then small on both sides, and then you got some that are just really big and wide. And what's the reasoning for the weird shape of the boats out here?